said one.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, folks.
She should at least get those beans.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, all right. That's a
His
good
coffee.
suggestion.
We have his.
She's
coffee
got her
at
own
our-
grinder. She's
at
got
the
her own,
restaurant and at home.
she's got her own little grinder.
Yeah,
I have to
it's
say,
great.
she's got that.
We can fix that.
And I have, I bought her all these coffee machines, like these fancy coffee machines. You know what her favorite is? Mr. Coffee. She uses
The little
Mr.
drip.
Yeah. That's what she uses. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order after the coffee discussion. How's everybody? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Easter, Passover, all kinds of celebrations. Hope everybody had a good time. Weather was a little chilly, but we'll take it. We have a lot of kind of update agenda items today. I don't think anything overly pressing, but we'll go through the normal course. First off, we have the minutes from our last meeting. Again, I'm prepared. Yeah, we should probably turn on our microphone so they can hear us and see us. I've started dressing nicer for the meeting since we
Really?
went on TV. Oh, you haven't noticed? Oh, okay.
Sorry. That's too easy.
It was. Minutes. Any comments, updates, adjustments, corrections? Anything?
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
All right, can we get a second?
Or
Very good. Any discussion about that? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Abstains? Okay, minutes approved. Financial reports, I direct your attention to page 8, which is the summary. So I was thinking about this today as I was looking at this. So this report is through February, which is 8 months. And March is already done. So we are already 9 months through another fiscal year. So I don't know about you, but I'm blown away by that we're that far down the chain. And I think if you look at our summary there, I don't know, Kelly, unless you have any comments on this, I think everything is kind of lining up with our budget.
We are,
Seem to be in line.
we are, we're good. There's about $20,000 left in the 248 fund, which is on track. Most of that's, left as salary,
Yep,
for downtown, just other minor things.
yep,
I'm gonna bring, some adjustments to you. We had some postage for, some notices and things that went out. So next month I'll bring, just a couple adjustments. It's all within line, just some
Yep.
line items that need
Yep.
to be changed. So we need to
We're
do
gonna- we're
that
gonna-
here.
we're gonna talk a little later about the capital fund. I think you
Yes.
got that on
Yep.
our agenda, so we'll
Yep.
talk about that separately. So any questions, comments on the current year activity? I think everything looks to be in order.
We have budget meetings this week, so I'll be bringing your budget, I think, next month to you. So,
Already.
yeah,
Wow.
I know.
My gosh.
This
All
year
right.
flew by.
Okay.
April.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yes, sir.
Should we do our general meeting that's scheduled for 8:35?
We're gonna do it
We're-
after.
We'll
this.
do that late. It's
Yeah,
just
we're gonna
where
do
we
it.
had to
Yeah,
schedule
yeah.
it.
Thanks.
So
Thanks for the reminder.
can start
Chris.
that one
We're gonna
late.
do it after this one.
Yep.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Thank you. Second? All right, any other comments on that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Abstentions, okay, that's passed. All right, so moving right along here. Kelly has some updates of just general items. Go ahead, Kelly.
Lots of stuff happening downtown, you guys.
Yes.
You'll notice I spent some time kind of taking some old stuff off this and putting some new stuff on. Exciting things. There is, where is it? Grant Stone Shoes is coming in at 418 State. Lilac Loft.
What's coming in there?
It's Grant Stone Shoes, super high-end shoe store.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
did
cool.
talk to them. They said, okay, go ahead and you can say.
Where are they from? Are they from, do they have other
They-
locations or?
They have a
Huh.
wholesale store in it's not even a store, they wholesale out of Baroda. And when I say high end, they're very nice shoes.
Wow.
So, yes.
Will they be open year round, did they say?
I don't know that for sure. They're just getting, if you go by there, there's some shoes in the front window. So I think they're working with the chamber on
What space was that? Which,
Lilac Loft
right.
next
Okay.
to, I think it's next to, Forever Clean.
By
Yeah.
the,
Is that right
Right.
next to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep. So,
that's great.
yeah.
Yeah, terrific. That's
and
exciting.
Then, what is the other one?
Posh Boutique.
Posh Boutique, yep. Posh Boutique
Posh.
is going in at 212 State. They're coming to us from New Buffalo. They closed their New Buffalo location and are coming to St. Joe. And
Is
that's
that is that the name of it or is that what? Oh,
the
I
higher
thought
end.
maybe you were describing it.
I mean, I feel like that does describe it.
Yeah, right.
I've tried to reach out to them. I haven't been able to because I wanted to welcome them and get them some, get some information, but they're
Terrific.
a higher end,
Yeah, wonderful.
resale type store. So good. We're getting some retail in.
That was a clothing store, right?
Yeah.
It was Third Coast, I think.
Yes.
Oh, was it
Thank you.
Third Coast?
Yeah, Third
Link
Coast.
together.
Yeah, Third
Okay,
Coast.
that's
That was Third
exciting
Coast,
because
yeah.
that's been sitting empty for. a while.
Right. It
Okay.
has. That's
I knew
great.
it was somewhere right.
Yes. So that's been
based
closed
on
for a
the
long
address.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
So are these kind of these events like that? Are these coming to us just people unsolicited kind of
Yep.
things? They see vacancies and they come?
Yep. Yep. I didn't have anything to do with these or unless
Hmm.
one of you did.
No,
I did.
Brian,
It was me.
all Brian.
Yes.
Thank you.
well,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's a shoe maven, right?
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately, so we still have some vacancies. 511 Ship is still open. 300 Main has returned to the market. It's the bank building, I would call it the silos. I don't know what else to call it. Licks is still, that location is still open. Lee and Birch recently vacated. Poppy and Violet they just noticed that they were looking to sell. I don't know what her timeline is, but that has nothing to do. What the article I read in the Palladium was that she just didn't have time.
And Lee and Birch closed all 5 of their locations.
Yes.
It wasn't just St. Joe.
It wasn't just St. Joe.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
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 I was wondering about that one.
They
Yeah.
closed everything.
And then the United location here closed right across the street, which
Oh,
is a
really?
bummer.
Yes, it's very annoying.
I would imagine for those of you that bank there, also because that's where we got our time and temperature too. Here, we were like, oh, so.
Can't just leave that on for us.
I know, we were like, what do we need to do to have you?
Yeah, what
leave?
happened there?
I have no
They
idea.
relocated to their
Main branch on South State.
South State.
Oh, okay.
That
Hmm.
was they merged or purchased another, that's how they ended up with that location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they own that building?
I think that, yeah, I think when they bought Edgewater, I think part of it was buying that building.
Oh, okay.
But I think they're trying to like completely
Consolidate.
sever the cord from that. I mean, I still call it the Edgewater Bank building.
Sure.
But, and I think a lot of people probably do, but most of their office is over on South State.
It's a great redevelopment site, so we should put it on our radar in terms of what do we have to do to encourage someone to repurpose it?
Yeah.
Or tear it down because it's hard to
Tear it
convert
down,
it,
right.
to do a bank into
Yeah,
something else.
prime real estate, no?
And I'm imagining there'll be, like, the chemical bank building can't be a bank for 2 years or so. I'm imagining.
That
this-
is true. I do know that.
Yeah, so I imagine this will have some kind of similar clause on it, and I don't know what else you would use it for.
Yeah.
But I hope somebody does something cool, like they take that Jerry Catania glass sculpture out of where you walk in, it's a huge,
In the lobby.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a beautiful piece of glass, pieces.
All right.
Who knows?
Okay,
So-
what else
so
you got, Kel?
Then on the next page, I spent a little time, I cleaned this up too. I found some square footage, on some of these buildings. So I know we talked about kind of bulking that up. So just
Right,
getting some basics on that as time is allowed. I'll work on kind of beefing up that too, so, yeah. The next page 17, I'm trying to think. Obviously, the parking plan was approved at the March 16th meeting. Tonight, I'll preface my later report, I am bringing a $50 season pass for anybody to the meeting tonight for commission approval, so.
So that's something they asked for.
That is something they asked for, so the parking subgroup, recommended that at the last subgroup meeting, so I'll be taking that to commission tonight. And also, the NEZ certificate for the Marquette. So
Is it-
that's the latest update with
That's the
that.
final, on the NEZ, that's the final, approval or?
Yes, I mean, that's sort of,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, finance piece, I guess, with us, so, yeah. So on that,
Okay,
and then page 18, really nothing has changed on that. We're just plugging along with our calendar.
Is there any update when the workplace plaza park thing that we were working with Cornerstone on is gonna?
You wanna, I was gonna talk about that a little later, Deb, but we
Okay,
can,
no, that's fine.
I was gonna do some just general updates later,
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if it was.
which actually is the next agenda item, so I have, kind of removed myself from that project, just capacity wise. We've, put Kayla on that with Andrew.
No.
I'm gonna,
Fresh from spring break.
He is fresh from spring break.
This week on the project with
Did you know?
all the relevant team members. from the
Okay.
city, so
Is that
hoping-
Friday?
hoping
It's
that-
super useless.
hoping that
Just
moves
look it up
quickly.
and click.
Okay, thank you.
So that will be a substantive update next month for sure.
Perfect.
which
I-
we will also talk about some other things. And, yeah, so. Anything, any questions on the reports?
I'll just comment that I just looked it up and United does own that real
Do
estate.
they? Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right, let's see, old business, any, old business we need to take care of there, Kelly, or no?
Um,
I don't see
no, I think
anything.
just the
Yep,
general updates,
all right,
like I said, Court Place Plaza, I think we talked about all that. Court Place Plaza, we're gonna continue with that project. The grant with, oh my gosh, Varian Community Foundation, the deadline was missed unfortunately. That was a miscommunication, with staff. Parking, I just updated you with on that. That's back on the agenda tonight.
say Kelly, just, on this court place thing.
Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory, or someone will remember this? What the funding thing, we had these different pieces of the funding equation here, Cornerstone, DDA, and was a city, was a component? You
Yeah,
just-
I can speak to that. It's been a minute, but so the MEDC's patronicity program, or the Public Spaces, Community Places program, will match up to $75,000, dollar for dollar, with locally raised funds for public space projects. So at least 2 years ago, Cornerstone committed 25,000 of that. I don't know how the 50 was split between the city's general fund and the DDA, but it was 50 between the two. So there's 75 committed. The state
Right.
will match 75, and
That's
then
right.
there's also an opportunity for other smaller donors locally. So that will start, I'm hoping, in the next, this season, I would say, and then would run for probably 45 or 60 days, the public fundraising component. And then the project itself is pretty straightforward. It's, lighting, furniture, some fixtures, things like that. So hopefully by this.
And we have a final, kind of game plan, I mean, in terms of what all that is, what you just said.
There was a public input session and a design that you all approved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2024, probably, late
Yeah,
2024.
Yeah, this one is long in the tooth, that's why I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
There will
We
be
gotta move the sculpture.
team at the city's gonna have to do a little bit of checking to see that prices haven't increased on, fixtures and amenities, and adjust as needed. I don't anticipate that would be much if they have, though.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll make sure that that most recent design is shared with you all as soon as it's finalized.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. Kelly, anything else, sir?
Just with the sidewalk amenities that we talked about last month, MDOT did put those numbers in. We're just gonna go with it. I discussed it with everybody. To your points, why look around? It's gonna last forever, so we're gonna go with those budget items. So we're still continuing to look at the budget, but we'll make it work, so.
So that the next milestone on that whole Main Street thing is figuring out kind of what we're gonna do and what it's gonna cost and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's another, I don't know when the last is, I think that's still up to MDOT as to when they're scheduling it, the last kind of public. I don't want to call it an input session because I don't think it is. It's kind of a,
Unveiling, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Unveiling?
That would probably be
Yeah.
a
Are you talking about the
good,
public one or
Here's
the
the
one with all the
plan.
stakeholders?
I think
I
it's a
think they're
public
pretty
one. I
much
don't know that
there.
there's
Yeah, I
another
think that's
stake.
right.
I
I
don't,
think that's
I
I thought
don't,
there was one more like stakeholder
is there?
one.
I'll double
in the
check. We
spring,
haven't, we
but-
haven't had a,
I haven't
Um,
looked at that timeline.
It's been a while since we've had
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
of that. But
But I'll double-
you guys talk with them all the time, right? Or
we
rep-
haven't had one in a while.
Oh, in a while, okay.
Or if we have, I haven't been able to get on them, so I'll double check with Tim and see, but, I think last time it was May, June.
Yeah.
So, soon. It seems so far away, but it's really not.
We're getting
so-
close.
Usually the stakeholder one was like, they had that one and then like a week later, there was a
Yeah.
public thing.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's looming, you guys.
Gonna
like,
get ready
it's-
to shoot the gun off here pretty soon,
Yeah,
right?
it feels like it.
Yeah, the lingering issues that still need to be resolved are how many of the driveways on Main Street are going to be closed off? Is the gas station going to get all of them, or are our parking lots going to access, onto Main Street? What's happening in front of 221? Is Pleasant Street going to be closed because that's our desire in the next 2 or 3 years? It'd be kind of silly to open it up during these plans and then close it down a year or two later when we decide to do something different. We still got the access in terms of the turnaround, in terms of the perpendicular parking on Elm Street. So there's a number of issues that are still floating out there that need to be resolved so that we don't spend multiple millions of dollars in terms of state money only to have a better idea the day after, the year after we're done. So I think it needs to be looked at more carefully and specifically because I think there's a number of people who think they're going to keep their driveways, which are not going to have their driveways. And I'm specifically thinking of the gas station.
What, I'm wondering, Kelly, can we, does it make any sense to kind of push them for a meeting or do you have on your, maybe the way to ask it is there on your calendar a meeting with the city or normal update meetings? Do you have anything like that on the calendar?
We have our meetings that we have weekly with
Okay.
them. I mean, sometimes we keep them, sometimes we don't, just
Right.
depending on.
Right.
But I can ask. if-
I'm just thinking, maybe, this thing is down the track at this point,
Mhm.
right? I mean, they're gonna get ready to start putting, shovels in the ground here, not too long, right? 27.
About a
right?
year, yeah.
So, maybe we ought to try and have a discussion with them. So at least we know what it is. But we,
What
Well,
do you
there's
say-
still conflicts. The last plans I've seen, there's still conflicts between what we're suggesting through our landscape contractor and what they're showing on their plans. I mean, the
Right,
things
right.
don't match.
Since
And it's about
this,
trying to link them up.
since this impacts, the DDA footprint pretty dramatically, could we have a meeting with them? Does that make any
If I
sense?
can ask, I don't.
Yeah. Well, or,
Could be
maybe we
ad
send a
hoc.
group
Yeah.
to a meeting or something,
Sure.
so we could have you could have a discussion, kind of thing. Does that make sense? I don't know. Andrew, what do you think?
They're always open to public input. If
Yeah.
MDOT wants that as part of their process. and
Yep.
They're doing it not just to go through the motions, they believe in it. So
Sure.
I would just encourage you to think through if it's in this type of a setting or if it's something smaller. So-
Yeah, I'm thinking something smaller, maybe just with a couple of their key people. Maybe we get a handful of our guys, Chris and I don't know, some others.
Sure.
Just,
I'll reach out.
yeah, just let us know. Okay, we can do something like that. I think they've been very, I don't know, open about it. There's nothing, everything's been kind of out on the table type thing. They have their thoughts and, how they, might want to do things and they might not always line up with our thinking, but, at least we could have the discussion. Yeah. Okay, thanks. All right, Kelly, you had a note in here on capital funding.
Yep.
The capital fund, I should say.
So after the finding signage, the second phase, which Deb, I did find the sign for Broad out here, the new one, and I forgot to bring it. It was never really priced. It was more just a spec sign.
Mhm.
Do you want me to get a price on that?
Yeah, I mean, because the remaining funds, that would be my top thing to first spend
Okay,
is, like, if we were gonna prioritize, that would
Okay.
be my number one.
What,
is
I'm sorry, what
redo-
would be your number one?
The sign, the welcome
Oh,
sign.
Oh, the one at
Welcome
the,
sign.
That,
on
for
Broad.
whatever reason, was never in phase one or
I thi-
two.
yeah.
It was,
Gosh, I don't know why I thought we talked about put this to bed, but I
well,
guess
she
we
did, I mean, there is
I
a
don't-
spec sign drawn, but it was never put in
We
either.
put a design, they did a design, didn't they? Didn't
they
they do
did,
a
and I
mock-up?
I don't remember ever seeing it. I think
Yeah.
that was done before I came on
Yeah.
board. And I reached out to Corbin and I was like, was everybody hallucinating or did this
All
happen?
right.
And she sent it to me and I apologize. I didn't put it in the packet. I forgot, or I think I got it after. So let me back up.
Yeah.
You've got about $54,000 after phase two of the wayfinding signage. So the 10 remaining signs, the welcome signs and the kiosks. Finance department would like to know what the plan is for that. So whether you want to do more signs or benches or whatever you want to do,
Right.
he'd kind of like to know.
And this welcome sign, this sign was not in any of that.
It was not in either phase one or phase two. Maura from Corbin said they just kind of spec'd it out just
Yep.
to give an idea.
Well,
And we don't have a dollar number on that.
No,
Yeah.
we don't have a dollar amount, so
Well,
I
maybe
can ask
that's, I would
them.
agree. I mean, but we ask them what the damages are for something.
Yeah,
like
it
that.
might cost a little to have them spec out all that stuff, so if that's a direction you'd like me to take, I'm happy to do that. I just probably need a motion to spend that money, to do that, but, it's kind of a A-frame. I can pull it up and show you on my laptop.
Kelly, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
so if I just want to make sure I understand, so there was 600,000
Mhm.
total and we've
Correct.
spent all but
53.
54,019, right? Is that
Correct.
correct? Okay.
Yep. And it's been, and I can, obviously get you the numbers. A lot of it was the parking study.
Sure.
Some of went to Cornerstone, a lot.
Yeah,
of
I
it
just
was-
want to make
Yep,
sure I understood,
Yep.
where we
Absolutely.
were.
Yep.
I think, again, while you're looking that up, my view would be, we don't, we should find out before we make a motion, if we're going to spend money on design, how much that would be. That would just be my,
I guess my motion, I would ask for the money to, spend money on getting this priced out, because I feel like there's gonna be some
okay.
costs incurred with
They're
that.
gonna charge us to do the design.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Yeah, I
that's-
remember
That's
that.
usual. Do you have a sense of?
No idea.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what?
yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be consistent with the other stuff. I mean.
Yeah, but it's still leaves sign guy who likes to make.
Yeah, yeah,
signs
yeah,
and
yeah,
Switch them out every 2
Okay.
days. The
Um,
ability to
could
do
we-
or
that.
just had motion to have me
so
investigate
you
it.
want a motion
I don't
just to
know.
approve them developing a design and a cost estimate?
Sure.
Is that what we're looking for?
Do we need to put a dollar amount on it?
For that, right?
Yeah.
If that's the direction you want me to take, yes.
well, they've already designed it, so it should just be a fabrication charge, and based upon the relationship that we've got with the sign manufacturer already, it should be a very, if people want to cooperate and continue the relationship, they should do it reasonably inexpensively.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, but I think another question though is, are people happy with what we're seeing there?
I mean, to me, it very much aligns with all the other signs.
Yeah,
and
I
don't think-
agree.
Yeah, I think it matches
I
up.
just want to make sure that if we start to head down a path of, yeah, we're gonna, oh no, I hate it,
I
you
guess
know?
that was my next question.
Yeah.
Do you like that design? Because I don't remember seeing that before, but.
I think it's consistent with all the other signage, got the same coloring
okay.
and a scheme, and I
The
think we're,
shape and stuff.
yeah.
I think the only question is whether or not all the people that actually display messages there, like St. Joe Today and other people and events and things, whether or not those people have had input in terms of, will that sign accommodate what they
Accommodate, yeah.
use the old sign for? And that, and not us, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think
the
the
users
guy,
might want to, well, my sign won't work, or I'll have to do this. That would be the only question.
I'm pretty sure it's
hasn't
the
been
guy at the
resolved.
city who makes all those signs. I don't
Well,
think like,
Kayla designs them and then we print them in-house.
yeah, I don't
so.
think anybody else designs a sign and says, here, hang this up. The city
But there's
does
space
every
on
single-
there to continue to do that.
Correct.
To
It
change
shows
them
like
out.
Chalk the Block and the Mike Your Car Show on here
Right.
now,
All the things you-
Yeah.
spec'd out, so.
Let's
I mean,
just-
we don't have to do this immediately. I mean, it's just, I think Ben was just asking that you have a plan or think about spending down this money.
Yeah.
So it's been rolled over continually,
Well,
so.
I guess I would say, I think we're in agreement that this is the appropriate priority is to this particular sign.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you need a motion for us to authorize you to have the discussion with them. I mean, we're,
Yeah,
I
and
would-
my desire would be to get it done quicker rather than, like, if all the other signs are going. in
right,
the
right,
next
right.
I move that we,
couple weeks.
demand Kelly
Request.
thank you, request
Request.
to move forward, investigating the design as submitted for pricing.
Yeah, that
That,
sounds,
I don't think we need a dollar amount on it,
That's
right?
fine.
no,
No.
Okay.
unless we want to say as long as it's under this price, go ahead and.
Well, I mean, Kelly, if they tell you it's gonna cost 40 grand to design it, you tell them,
No,
well, I won't say it in public what you tell, them, but, we'll leave it to your discretion to manage
Got it.
that process. So,
I'll support the motion.
yeah. All right. You got a second?
There was, yes, and I have a comment though.
Please.
Which I think where you're headed, Deb, is do we simply say, we like that design? You can spend up to $40,000 to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Or,
Because otherwise it's another month before we.
Well,
even
that's
say,
exact-
"Let's go
right.
ahead and do it.
right, so
What's a reasonable,
what's
what do we
the,
feel is a reasonable price?
I
for
have
it?
no idea how much is.
Why don't
But I
we,
think it's.
no, why don't we just
double the
say we
size
got
of like a
54 grand, up to 54 grand? I mean,
I'm okay with that. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend money willy-nilly, but nobody has any idea what's going to cost.
Well, I
Is
mean, I
it
think-
10,000 or 40?
Well,
I
like the
don't know.
welcome to St. Joe signs are similar in size and scope.
Yeah.
And we know how much those cost, so it's
Yeah.
gotta be around that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that is, what that.
So,
is.
so maybe we add to the amendment.
yeah,
To your
friendly,
point, to your point, yeah.
amendment.
Yeah, maybe we add to the amendment that we're going to authorize you to proceed with the actual execution of buying the sign up to 54,000 and change, whatever our number is.
So as the guy that made the motion, I
Yeah.
accept your friendly
Right.
amendment.
Great.
So
And second to the friendly
I'll-
amendment?
I'll support it, but it's awfully excessive, awfully excessive.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right. Okay.
agree.
Well, we'll leave,
We'll see how it
we'll
comes
we'll
out.
leave this in Kelly's, in the interest of moving this quickly.
Yes.
We'll leave it in Kelly's capable hands. I mean, Kelly, you're gonna have to make a call on whether it's crazy or not.
I
Okay.
will communicate greatly with you guys what I find out.
Yeah, right, right.
we
That's
did
all. That's
authorize, which includes making actual decisions.
all. Yeah, yeah, because otherwise we like the design. These guys that we've already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with these guys. I mean, they ought to, they ought to take care of
Right,
us.
we
I
did in
guess.
the Parks Department as well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
They did all of our new welcome, all the new park signs.
Oh,
too,
wow.
so.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and amended and a second and a motion and seconded and all that good stuff. Any more discussion on this? No? All right. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions. All right. Kelly, is that clear as mud to you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Very good. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Let's see here.
Is this an opportunity for public?
I think we're going to have some public comment. Yes. Do we have any public commenters?
Right here.
Hey, public, would you like to make a public?
Right here.
Jamie's public and she raised her
Robert
hand.
wants to be.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to be
Recognized
public?
as
Well,
being
we have
public.
board comments, or you want to make it a,
Well, we have public and then board.
where we have public then board.
Jamie raised her hand.
Yeah.
So Jane, go ahead.
I just need Jamie to use the mic, so it's recorded,
Okay, all right.
if you don't mind.
Jamie, do you want to go first or would you like me to go first?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so we're doing
All
board
right.
comments first?
Pardon?
Were you going as a board comment first?
No, public as a member of the public.
Oh. Okay, so you're representing yourself. as
I'm
a
representing
public.
myself as a member
Okay,
of
sorry.
St. Joe. All right.
Could you go sit over there? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
All right.
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. For those who don't know me, my name is Robert Montgomery. I've been on the DDA for about the last 9 or 10 years. My restaurants, 221 Main and the Copper Pot, are located on the east side of downtown St. Joe. And when I joined the DDA, my goal was simple: to give the east side businesses a voice. Over the years, we've seen how much attention the city naturally gives to the west side of downtown, and that makes sense, given its location along the bluff and those beautiful views of Lake Michigan. But in that focus, the east side can often be overlooked, even though we're every bit a part of the downtown and contribute to its vitality. For years, businesses in the heart of downtown have argued that summer parking is a problem. The city, even DDA, even hired a firm to study it, and what that study found was telling: that most of the parking congestion was not caused by customers, but by beachgoers and downtown employees. Last year, the city introduced seasonal paid parking on the west side. It was a smart approach designed to shift long-term parkers eastward and free up spaces for customers. Unfortunately, after only 3 weeks, the city rescinded that plan due to the objections of west side business owners. We lost what could possibly have been a workable solution. And now, 1 year later, we're back revisiting paid parking, but this time, the city has made considerable changes, including adding a few paid areas on the east side too. Not because our side needed them, but to create a sense of balance that might quiet the complaints from across the downtown, and honestly, that's fine. Here's the reality. During the summer, the vast majority of tourists stay around State Street, the beach, and the bluff on the west side. The east side sees far less of that crowd. Adding paid parking here doesn't address the actual problem. It just spreads the pain evenly rather than solving the issue strategically. And while we're talking about parking decisions, it's worth noting that this year, when paid parking was reintroduced, street parking along the bluff on Lake Boulevard was eliminated entirely. That decision was made specifically to prevent any possible controversy over blocking off parking during bluff events. Major attractions like Krasl Art Fair, the Micro Car Show, the weekly farmers market, and Antiques on the Bluff. Now, the city recognizes those events are valuable amenities that bring people and energy to the downtown, and paid parking considerations would jeopardize the future of those events. However, the same consideration should have been given to Pleasant Street Plaza, which provides similar value across Main Street, attracting visitors, fostering community, and creating vibrancy on the east side. Now, back in 2020, when COVID hit, I proposed closing off the first block of Pleasant Street, east of Main, to create an outdoor pedestrian plaza where people could safely dine and enjoy our downtown. Silver Harbor and the market joined in, and it quickly became a hit. To this day, Pleasant Street Plaza has been a popular and positive feature for 6 straight summers without a single complaint until last year, when paid parking debates began. Suddenly, some stated that the plaza took up valuable parking. But that argument misunderstands what Pleasant Street Plaza really is. Pleasant Street Plaza isn't a private gain. It's a public amenity. It benefits the entire downtown. When visitors drive in and see umbrellas, outdoor tables, people laughing, hearing live music, and enjoying themselves, it makes the entire downtown, east and west, feel lively, welcoming, and worth exploring. And let me clear up a common misconception. The plaza does not increase our revenue. My kitchens can only produce so much food at a time. When I seat guests outside, it simply replaces the indoor seating. It does not add to it. The market simply uses its space for outdoor coffee tables, and Silver Harbor uses theirs for live music and to-go cocktails. And together we've built something that adds energy and charm to St. Joe. In fact, the plaza fulfills a goal the city has had for more than a decade, to create a walkable and inviting downtown space, and we've done it without any taxpayer funding. Now, I want to be clear, the parking spaces surrounding Pleasant Street Plaza are already designated to be paid parking, but only in the interest of equity between east and west sides of downtown. They weren't made paid parking spaces because there was any problem to fix. They were made paid simply to appear even-handed, and that's fine. But if the city now asks us to financially compensate for those spaces on top of that, the plaza will have to end. It simply isn't sustainable to pay for something that does not increase our business revenue and already exists as a public benefit. And if fairness is truly the goal, then that fairness should apply across the board. When events like Chalk the Block close down streets and take away paid parking on the west side, will they also be charged for those blocked spaces? Because if Pleasant Street Plaza must pay for its spaces, the same rule should apply for every event. At this point, the businesses on Pleasant Street are hoping to reach a long-term agreement with the city, but right now, all we're seeking is a one-year extension of our current agreement so that a fair and balanced approach can be developed during the off-season. We've seen what happens when decisions are rushed, and we don't want to disrupt something that's working so well for the entire community. The businesses that created Pleasant Street Plaza, Silver Harbor Brewing Company, The Market, 221 Main, and the Copper Pot, have approached this community with cooperation and teamwork. On the east side, we believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. Pleasant Street Plaza has made downtown more appealing, more walkable, and more memorable. And if the city's goal is to create a thriving, lively downtown filled with life and energy, then Pleasant Street Plaza is a part of that vision, and we've done it at no cost to the city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other public comments? Yes?
Sorry, that was long, but I had a lot to say.
No, no
Well
problem.
done.
No problem.
At risk of sounding, ooh, I'm hot. At risk of sounding redundant, so I apologize in advance, but thank you again for the opportunity allowing me to speak with you all today. I was here about a month ago as well with the same commentary or similar commentary. My name is Jamie Gross, for those that don't know me. I'm the owner, one of the co-owners of Silver Harbor Brewing and Union Social Event Venue, which are on Pleasant Street and Court Street. And I just first want to thank the DDA for your unanimous support prior for those who were able to vote in Pleasant Street Plaza approval back in January. So we've been talking about this for quite some time now. We truly appreciate that. And I do want to share a similar concern as Robert, just in the current discussion around Pleasant Street Plaza, quickly becoming focused on assigning a payment structure to it rather than evaluating the broader impact and consistency of policy for the city. So like he said, it's important to note that earlier proposals on parking did not include Pleasant Street at all. So this is a relatively recent shift for us. And now we're trying to layer in a compensation model in a very compressed timeline. And I think that's the challenge that we have. We're asking for a one-year bridge solution for the city just to continue, because as we all know, very quickly we're going to have visitors in our city, and we need to make plans and prepare for this plaza if it will, and we're assuming that it will continue. It means more than half of the street parking remains intact for Pleasant and Court. So I think there's a misnomer that we're shutting down the streets. There's actually a strong percentage of those parking spots that are still available and still available to pay, whether it's $50 or thousands of dollars that they will bring in. And the current estimate of over $10,000 for those spaces to be charged for us, now that the city is also proposing a $50 seasonal parking pass for visitors or residents, raises question about how the value is really being calculated. But just in a few short weeks, I want to update you. Since I was here last, we've gathered over 250 signatures in support of Pleasant Street Plaza. Over 70% of them are local residents of St. Joe, and many of them from downtown with extensive comment. We've provided that information to the city commission through Kelly. And it just reflects how important the space has become to not only our local citizens, but also visitors that come to St. Joe. So what's most important for us? The vote has been pushed out to April 27th on this. So once again, we're being pushed, and we're at a point where we need to finalize seasonal hiring. It certainly is impacting our ability to bring back some of the college kids that are local that we employ. It's putting at risk weekly programming that we're working on with the St. Joe Today. That's family-friendly focused programming. Over 30 scheduled musicians that we would have to cancel, so impacting their finances as well. And obviously the visitors that Robert mentioned that come to the area are expecting this nice social area. So the relatively small portion of parking that's associated with the disproportionate economic and community impact, it doesn't jive for us right now. And we fully support establishing a fair and reasonable framework for the city, but realize that under the pressure and the timeline, the risk is undermining something that's already been working. So once again, we're simply asking for a very clear, straightforward path, which is for 2026 to be a transitional year, 1 year under the current structure, while the city takes the time to develop a consistent and equitable policy, one that isn't rushed. So I'm asking respectfully of the DDA for you to reaffirm your support of Pleasant Street Plaza and recommend that to the City Commission again.
Yep, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to make, and
So hold on just a minute here.
Yep.
Let's get, I just want to make sure we get a public, so.
my comment will be public. So go
right.
ahead.
Okay, well, no,
But you
please.
can ask if you want.
No, please. Please, go
Okay,
ahead.
so yeah, I want to make a comment as a public member, not as a member of the DDA. My name is Brian Maynard. I own Forte Coffee on State Street. I just want to support the comments made previously. And I will admit that sometimes, I have been pretty vocal in my support of the paid parking program downtown. I think that to the previous comments, that downtown is a whole infrastructure. It's not east side, west side, north, south. It is the downtown, and it needs to be vibrant. And one of the reasons I agreed to join the DDA board was because I believed in that. It helps my business. I've lived here for a long, long time. And I've been hesitant since, because if you were in favor of paid parking and a business owner, honestly, I was vocal and then I hushed for a long time because I had other businesses who are downtown come into my store and yell at me and throw gift cards at me and tell me that they were never going to step foot in my business again because I was simply wanting to move the downtown forward, in my opinion. They are absolutely entitled to their opinion, and I respect that. But to threaten to try to shut my business down because of where I stand, it just doesn't make sense. This is not a zero-sum game. This isn't if I win, you lose. This is all of us together, right?
Right.
For the record, for the 3 short weeks that the paid parking was in place last year, my business at that location was up significantly. Now, I've mentioned this in the past. The reason my business was up over those 3 weeks wasn't because of the paid parking. It was because the weather was lousy. People tend to drink coffee when the weather's lousy. And I would submit that most of the business owners whose businesses were down, the reason they were down was not because of paid parking, but because the weather was lousy and people weren't here. There just weren't tourists here last summer. So I'll just say, as a private citizen and a business owner in the downtown area, I'm disappointed in the watered down version of paid parking. I think, longer term, we will regret having done that. So
All right, thank you. All right, any other public comments? All right, so with that, we'll move to the board member comments. So I'm sure others might want to have some input on this particular
So,
topic.
yeah, I have a
Please.
comment just because I've been sitting on the parking committee for
Sure.
quite a long time.
Sure.
Are you your board member, Deb?
Now we're in board member.
Board member,
Or
Deb.
board.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mix because I do have a vested interest in
Sure.
what they're talking about. But I will tell you my most frustrating and like, to me, this is the most frustrating thing about trying to get something done is this came up extending Pleasant Street Plaza in some form or another with us and here and with staff last fall. We talked about getting it approved before it even ended last September to extend it. And then they're all very legitimate reasons why it's like, oh, whoop, and then this comes up and it just keeps getting down. But as a business owner, to Jamie's point, she's trying to hire summer staff.
Sure.
She's trying to hire musicians. And every time a commissioner goes, ooh, we need to study that a little bit more. I get it. You want to make thoughtful decisions. But like at a certain point, the key is you have to make decisions with the information you have. I wasn't at the meeting because I had surgery, but when Mike Sorolla, sorry to call him out by name, sat at a commission meeting, this is the first time I've seen this new plan. There was 4 public meetings. I went to 2 of them in February. I met every commissioner at those meetings but him. So if he didn't avail himself of the opportunity to learn what the parking committee was putting forward, that's on him. It wasn't like it just fell out of the sky that morning into his inbox. There was plenty of opportunity for him to learn about it before he got his DDA packet. And so it is so frustrating to me as a business owner because every time the city drags its feet and is not empowered to make real decisions in real time, it costs real businesses, real money. Every time they like, oh, we got to think about your sign some more, or, this is the electrical, and he's not going to come for another month. That's real money just evaporating out of our business checking accounts every day that stuff gets stalled and kicked down the road. And so that is very frustrating. And then my second thing is, again, to Kelly's point, now it feels like, oh, we got to quick come up if we're going to take these spots and we got to it's got to be figured out right now because it's the middle of April.
It's time.
And so it's like, I've been sitting at the park and I haven't been to everyone, and maybe it came up at a meeting I missed, or maybe I just don't remember, but I don't ever remember during the parking committee where we're supposed to be really hashing out details, ever discussing how is the city going to be compensated for parking spots. And my thing is I've pushed back and said, I think we should highlight that there's revenue to be had. And I have been told every single time I bring it up, nope. It's not about the money. It's never about the money. It's about the philosophy and allocating parking.
Moving customers, yeah.
Allocating the parking and utilizing, because we have abundant parking, utilizing it to the best of our ability. And it's never, ever, ever, we have been told repeatedly, nope, it's not about the revenue. And suddenly these spots it's about their revenue. And I think if we're going to prioritize in the parking committee, which we have repeatedly, that it's about allocating the parking to the public benefit, then creating a public amenity, like, if that's the priority, if that's what we want, that's what the master plan says we want, that's what the committee has always said. We've never discussed charging for the parking. Krasl Art Fair uses up every parking spot in town, and it's a great thing. I'm not saying they shouldn't be given parking lots and
Sure.
all the
Yeah.
street parking and blah, but it uses up all the parking, I think, to great benefit to the city. So
Right.
I'm cool with that. But if we're gonna target Pleasant Street as, well, they're taking 7 spots, that's how many it is. In the end, it's a net loss of 7 parking spots. If we're gonna target and say that those are the spots that the city needs to be compensated for, I think a much broader conversation needs to be had about what is the right way to charge and what are our priorities? And if it's not about the revenue, then don't make it about the revenue on Pleasant Street.
Well,
Plaza.
you know, and the part of what I was saying in my statement was we don't have a parking problem on that side of Main Street. We
Never
don't
have.
get that kind of traffic. It's never been an issue. And in the interest of equity to put paid parking on that side, that's fine. I don't care. It's not gonna,
It's not gonna cost us any
it's not gonna
customers.
affect anything. But to have a fee now tacked onto Pleasant Street Plaza because there's paid parking over there just to calm the voices of the downtown, that doesn't seem to jive.
No, it doesn't
again,
align with the
it's-
priorities we've stated are our priorities.
Exactly.
I think there's two things going on here, right? The whole paid parking issue is, as far as I'm concerned, is subject to tonight's meeting, is somewhat settled in terms of the way that scheme is going to work.
Sure, yeah, and it's
And we're
fine.
going to add
Been settled. The
Right, it's been-
commission approved
right,
paid
right. So-
parking with the
so-
caveat of a pass.
Right. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I don't know if that decision is going to get reversed
Change
or
their
not, but
mind.
let's assume for the moment that it isn't. And the only open issue is how this pass works and all that. So that gets put to bed. The other issue, obviously, relative to Pleasant Street and all the activity that happens downtown that takes and utilizes public space. Forget about the parking that might get used. It uses public space. So whether the individual, the businesses, or the even the non-for-profits that are using that space, whether they should compensate the city for that, to me, that's a separate issue that frankly needs some discussion. My comment to Kelly on this when we got together to talk about this meeting was, this group has asked for a 1-year extension of the Pleasant Street Plaza. Okay. I think we ought to utilize that time to evaluate this charging issue. I guess personally, I haven't kind of settled on, it's a good idea, bad idea, how should it work, all that. But I think that needs some time to digest. And since they've only asked for a year, it would seem to me it's an opportune time to basically say, okay, we'll let Pleasant Street operate as it has for the next year, and we're going to evaluate this charge mechanism. I think that takes some, I don't know, it takes some thought. Who, what, where, how much, we can ask, there's all kinds of issues, right? Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's a lot of other communities that do it. I don't know the answer to any of those questions, and therein lies the problem. So to me, I think that's what the commission ought to do. I know there seems to be a real push to defer the Pleasant Street decision pending, some decision on this charge mechanism. And I don't know, you look at the calendar and look at the clock right now, where we are, the points are well taken in terms of how this impacts a business. So I guess what I would say is, as a group, maybe what we ought to, Kelly, what you ought to pass to the commission on our behalf, and we can do this in the motion, is kind of just what I said, that we remain supportive of the Pleasant Street Plaza. We're supportive of their decision to do it for a year. And our recommendation would be that, okay, you want to evaluate this charge mechanism, go for it. I mean, it's certainly their prerogative to do so. Go ahead and do that. But let's not, I don't know, let's not do it in haste and, come out on the other end of it and then wonder, what are we going to do about Crazzle Art Fair? What are we going to do about the Mike York Car Show? What are we going to do about, I don't know. I don't think we're going to be, I think if we're forced to do something in a matter of weeks instead of taking a few months to evaluate it, we may end up with a bad decision or one that has unintended consequences.
Well, you won't have the plaza.
And we, yeah, and
You just won't have it.
maybe we won't have it because they're going to say, anyway, that's my thoughts on this, Kelly. I know I've talked this to you before, but I wanted the rest of the authority here to hear that. So.
you wanna?
So if you're in agreement,
Obviously, I have to make a comment.
please.
I guess what we should all realize is that politics always trumps planning. And so therefore, don't think that you're really here and have any power because you don't.
Sure.
But again, I do hear today a couple of us second guessing what we've planned for and what we've been doing for the last couple of years. And that's atypical in terms of this board. We've been able to set directions. We've been able to pursue them. We've solved wayfinding. We've certainly got our hands dirty with parking. We've done a whole bunch of things that have improved the downtown. And so I don't want to waver in terms of what we're trying to do. And I want to keep it in perspective for everybody. Way back when Mayor Goose was still mayor of town, and we were starting to get benefited by some new, young, crazy people that were trying to develop something on Pleasant Street on the east side of town. I mean, I don't know why they were there. I don't know why they're investing over there. That was never a hot spot anyway. But we spent almost $100,000 to put up some temporary landing zones in the middle of the street because we wanted people to go over down Pleasant Street. So we decided to do that and spent $80,000 to put up the things that we've been using for the last 6 years. It'll be 7 years this year. And we additionally have been talking about closing off that street and starting the program because we, the DDA, are seeing that there might be a business opportunity on that part of town that we haven't been able to envision in other parts of town. So we've been kind of doing that. And then lo and behold, some crazy person from across the street comes in and talks about Pleasant Street Plaza and redoing the whole street and getting government money and showing us vehicles to have. And we pursue all those. And we spend money on design, both for the street itself and for the court plaza. And we're spending money on that and applying for grants. And we talked about that today. All right. And now all of a sudden we want to get cold feet and decide that what we have been planning on as a DDA to affect the whole town. I'm going back to what Brian said. It's the whole town. It's not my town. It's not your town. I have a business downtown. I don't have a shop, but downtown. But I don't want this group to get into the point where we second guess what we're doing because we should be addressing planning and procedures and different things, like that. And this whole, and it's a Pandora's box trying to figure out what's fair and what's equitable in terms of who uses parking spaces for free and who uses parking spaces for cash, and then trying to find out what it is. So you need a holistic version. And along the same lines, Paul has done a wonderful job in terms of programming that space. Was there a farmer's market on the east side of town 5 years ago, 2 years ago? Well, I guess we'll start 2 years ago. And so therefore, we're already programming that space. So now is not the time for this group to waver in terms of thinking that there might be a reason to delay or not do something. So I definitely want to continue to have us do what we think is right. We're not politicians. When your term's up, you might get kicked off the board because you're not qualified. But other than that, we should continue to promote Pleasant Street Plaza. And as I said before, also make the big decision. Are you going to turn the street off? Because that is a great direction. The only new place people have been spending money in town and improving commerce in this downtown. Are we willing to make those steps as a benefit of the whole town and make sure that those plans get incorporated into the pending MDOT stuff? So that's my 2 cents. And so remember history, remember our approach, remember what we've done, and then let's continue to move forward in a positive way, which we have been doing very well for the last
Brian,
couple of
before
years.
you do that, I just want to remind everybody here, this has been a concept. It was important from day one. In fact, if I recall, our motion previously was we were all in favor of a 5-year extension, and we recommended that the full closure of the street.
10-year extension.
A 10-year extension.
10-year extension.
And then a permanent closure. So I think our position on this is pretty clear. So, Brian, I mean, I think we just need to reinforce that given what they've asked for. They've only asked for a year, which frankly kind of surprised me a little bit, but okay, no problem. We'll continue to be supportive. So,
Unless there are other comments, I'll make a motion. Other comments? Before I do that, though, I do want to recognize the hard work that the parking committee has put in. I made comment about how I was disappointed in the watered down version. That's what democracy is all about,
No,
which
no.
is,
Yeah,
you
no
know,
problem.
compromise. So it is what it is. All right. So my motion would be as
I want to
follows.
say something real quick.
Sorry.
That, so I'm for the Pleasant Street Plaza. I think it's been great for the downtown. I think you guys have done a great job.
Thank you.
My only question is that when the paid parking plan came through, the paid spots were over there.
Hmm.
And so then.
That was no
voted
problem.
Yes. So it's not a problem them being paid?
No,
But aren't you saying that you wouldn't have then
but
to make it feasible if you were to pay?
if the paid parking was to come over to the east side in the spirit of equity, that's fine. Yeah, this is not a problem. Any of the existing spots that are out there for summer business, make them paid parking. That's fine.
There's
What
more
we're
paid
saying
parking
is, what
spots
we're saying
left.
is if we are put in a position where we have to pay for those 7 spots, which it's not a little bit of money.
Yeah.
It's like thousands and thousands of dollars. And keep in mind, we're already paying thousands of dollars really for
Furniture.
an amenity, that is good for everybody.
But you approved a plan where those spots were paid that then where the Pleasant Street Plaza was gonna go.
I wasn't part of the parking committee.
I know, but you approved what the plan was.
I was okay with paid parking. And then when it was reintroduced this year, we saw that it was on our side of town, and that's fine. I just kind of put my hands up and said, that's fine.
So
It's not gonna, I don't feel as though it's gonna be a detriment to my business. And it's actually probably better than the first plan that we had last year. Because last year, all the object was to shift everyone from the west side. When I say everyone, the beachgoers and the employees, push them over to the east side. Well, that just makes it harder for my customers to get to my business because now all the parking on our side is taken up.
Yeah.
But again, for the greater good, I was fine. Then when it was reintroduced this year and it's like, okay, it's just going to be the streets. I get it. We're just going to kind of try and reintroduce this and we'll see how it goes. See if this, is going to work for everybody. And I said, oh, it's on our side of the street now. Well, that's fine. It's probably to keep everybody calm and, not have a, what about them discussion going on. All right, that's fine. But then when it was come up, then, well, now you have to pay for that. To Deb's point, revenue was never, this isn't about revenue.
Well, and it
This
becomes
paid
an
parking
east-
was never about raising revenue. It was a secondary benefit, but the whole purpose behind having paid parking was to try and address the perceived issue with summer parking.
I think the strength of the public argument is that this is creating an east-west where there's an inequity in treatment of usage towards public events and services.
Sure.
And that's the strength of the argument, at least from the public perspective.
Sure. And like I said, when it was introduced, I in the interest of equity, fine. Have it over here. I don't have a problem with it. So anything that's out there existing, any of the parking that is out will be paid.
but when it was all free parking, there wasn't any issue then.
Well,
now
no,
I
why
think
would you,
where
why would you
guys
have to?
are-
put-
I think
why-
where you guys are separated here, just understanding each other, if I could be so bold, you're saying now that street has become paid
Yeah.
parking. And he's saying, well, now
Now
you're
it's an issue.
removing paid parking to do the plaza.
Sure.
Yeah.
Understand that.
And I guess I would say, well, then, if we're playing then that other people should be paying
Exactly.
for during farmer's market and,
it's like
and so
there's
on.
not a
So
unified-
that I think is where you guys were.
Well, and
misunderstanding
that
each
was,
other.
and that was my point earlier when I said, if there's going to be equity in this, if Pleasant Street Plaza is
Treat
going to be
everybody the same.
expected to
Yeah.
pay,
I-
then
yeah.
what about the other events downtown where streets are blocked off like
I
Chalk
think
the
that's the
Block?
whole, I think that's the
You
whole
know,
point.
Yeah.
is
Broad Street's blocked off during Chalk the Block. Who's going to pay for all that lost parking?
I think,
Do we want to risk those amenities? Because that's a public amenity.
I think,
Exactly.
You know,
I think,
and
again,
I don't feel as though that's something, that the city should risk losing?
I think therein lies the issue is that there's, we don't have a clear answer on that whole charging mechanism. And I think, Brian, I don't know where you're going to go with this, but I really think we're back to what my earlier comments about this, about what do we want to convey to the commission? And I think there's a couple of things that we want to convey. One is we're supportive of this group's willing or desire to do a 1-year extension of the Pleasant Street Plaza. And the second piece is any discussion or any implementation of a charging mechanism should be deferred for that year until such time as it could be properly evaluated. I don't know what the answer to that question is, but I do think sufficient time ought to be taken to study and evaluate it, and then you end up where you end up.
Okay, I'm happy to make a motion.
Please.
So the DDA, recognizing that our mission is to create a vibrant downtown, and I'll just add as commentary, not an east or a west,
Sure,
a vibrant downtown where within the district of the DDA are in support of deferring any decisions regarding charging the local businesses for shutting down
Public space.
the public space. Yeah, actually for all of them, I guess, right?
That's right.
Public space, until which time we can fully study and determine the effect that that's going to have. So we would urge the city commission to postpone that decision and let, in this particular case, what's the name of the street?
Pleasant Street.
Pleasant Street Plaza extend for 1 year.
I support that.
Any more discussion?
I think one
Please.
thing to add is an equitable version of it, right? It's not just the economic impact, but it's the equal treatment across the entire downtown.
Yeah.
I think.
I would agree. Yeah,
Just
the
more important than-
evaluation of that issue needs to encompass the entire.
The
downtown.
entire downtown.
Which is what our job is.
Which,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know, again, I don't know where that ends up, but, take some time to evaluate.
Yeah.
I just think it's a contradiction in that, because like there was the whole parking map thing,
Yeah.
that seminar.
Sure.
I took that and they were talking about that you're like people using parking, they're using your space in your town and you charge them to use the space. So to me, I said I didn't want parking. I was 1 out of 9 that said
Sure.
no parking. So to me, I'm for the Pleasant Street Plaza. I have a building right over there, so that could benefit me. But I'm for that. But I just think then to vote for the paid parking and then it affects you and then say, well, I don't think we should have to pay. Well, technically it's paying for space. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think you would have to vote no for that. And then, that just doesn't make sense to vote yes for the paid parking and then say, well, then we want Pleasant Street Plaza and we don't have to pay. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a contradiction.
Yeah, I understand the inconsistency you're describing. So we have a motion here on the floor that's been supported. Any more discussion on this?
Think
All right.
we beat that horse to
Yeah,
death.
I think it's, it's still tweaking a little. It's okay. Please, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about your microphone. I do think it's
Want me to
worth
bring it?
considering that in a model where.
In a model where entities are being charged for the use of the space, and I understand a season is different than just an event. There are certain events that will no longer happen if that occurs, right? The Mike Your Car Show will cease to exist if an organization has to equitably
Generate enough
contribute towards the use of all of those spots. The Chalk the Block would be very difficult to operate if there was equitable considerations made in the use of those spots. And my thought is having sat in those parking meetings, so many decisions were made not because of the philosophy of why we were doing it or because of the revenue that was coming in, but because of the optics, right? So many decisions of how that program stripped down was because of optics, right? Of how are people going to perceive this community and the decisions that we make, right? And so I think the ultimate question is not for the people here, not for the citizens here, not for residents here, but the people who are coming in and they are visiting the city for an hour or a day or a week. What kind of impression do we want to leave them with? right? Like what optically do we want them to experience so that they come back, right? And I think if we strip away a vibrant public entity out of the interest of things we've denied, like revenue, I think we're tripping over our own feet by saying that, we need revenue, we need to bring in money, when that has not been a decision maker this whole time. And so if optics have been our primary driving force in the decisions we make around parking, I think optics have to be considered here as well, ultimately. Or we need to return to a North Star, which is either philosophy or revenue or something else, right?
All right, thank you.
And my last 2 cents is if we don't have the clear vision of the future, you can't make a good decision today.
Fair enough. Okay. I think, Kelly, do you understand what we're motioning here? Is that,
I'm gonna go back to the recording to get all the wording down.
Okay.
but Yes.
all right, very good. All right. So any more comments on this discussion? All right, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, none.
One abstention.
One abstention. All right, very good.
I'll abstain.
2 abstentions. All right. Okay,
Well, that was fun.
that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you all for your input. I mean, I've tried to be as transparent as possible with everyone involved. And
Sure.
I hope that has come across. It's not something we're taking lightly.
No, I'm
And-
sure.
and
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I hope.
I just wanted to make that statement because the last thing I wanted to do was have the plaza disappear for lack of making my voice heard.
Absolutely.
And, because that is what's at risk.
So you'll pass our message along to the commission and we will, we'll go from there. We'll see what
We are setting up meetings.
they decide. Yeah, right? All right. Anything else? Any other,
You were gonna talk about.
You probably thought today was
Oh,
going to
yes.
be boring, didn't you?
yeah, let me.
I told her, I said, I don't know what's gonna be,
Let me just, real quickly, Kelly and I did a little field trip. We went, to meet with the, city manager of Buchanan. So in the interest of looking at that massive project that they did, which is, I don't know if you've been down there, but it's beautiful. I mean, they basically have rebuilt their entire downtown, kind of building to building. I mean, the streets, the sidewalks, everything. And it's still a little bit of work in progress. They're finishing up some things. So we went with Tony McGee, is it? Did I get it?
Yes,
Yeah?
it's-
Yeah. Nice gentleman, very knowledgeable, kind of a veteran, struck me as kind of a veteran city guy, or city manager type. And, he was very helpful. So we had a great conversation with them talking about, the engagement and what they did and all the good things. And obviously we talked about financing too. And so my one takeaway on the financing was that I never thought about or even considered was that the bulk of their financing came from their ability to capture revenue from the infrastructure improvement that had to be made there. I think he quoted like 16 or 18 million dollars. It was a big number that basically said they bonded basically doing the entire street sewer system, all of those things that when you look at these things, you just look at what's happening above ground. You don't look at what's happening below the ground, but the cost of that activity is very large. And they utilize that mechanism to bond the financing. And it was, I don't know, I never thought about it, to be frank with you. I'm thinking, geez, where did you get all this money and all these grants falling out of the sky and, all these other revenue sources. So that was very revealing to me. And it's something that we can, I think about as we
Yeah.
go
And
forward.
I'm friends with Tony and
Yeah.
like I've been talking to him about
Yeah,
it
sure.
since
Sure.
they started the project last
Sure.
year. He has volunteered and he's very
Oh, yeah, no,
willing
he's
and
very
eager
helpful.
to come
Absolutely.
and give a presentation.
Absolutely.
Let us pick his brains.
Absolutely.
What they learned along the way,
Yes.
how they got the ball
Yes.
rolling, all
Yep,
those
yep.
kind of things, to the full DDA, should we ever be interested.
And this
He would
was-
love to come talk to us.
Yeah, no, he's very open about it, and any questions, I'll give his card and all this kind of stuff. But you're right, Deb. He would he's potentially if we
He's a great
think about
resource.
launching something like this, he would be a good person to talk to about doing something grander, I guess.
Right, and he has great roots in this. I mean, he worked at Cornerstone for a very
Yes.
long time, and he was at Abernmarsh before he
Sure,
went
sure.
to Buchanan as
No,
their
he's
city manager.
we had an enjoyable conversation with
I think
Kelly
one of
on whatever you
the, one
want
of
to
the
add to
things
that.
that I really wanted to pick his brain was like, how can we prepare our downtown businesses, both sides, what to expect, how can we communicate? And, his biggest thing was just communicate. They had weekly updates on their website, like this part of the road, this is what we accomplished this week, this is what we expect to accomplish next week. So I've already been talking with Kayla, here in our comms team. Yeah, we're a year out from breaking ground, but I want to start this now so that everybody's on the same page. Like, we all know this is happening.
Right.
Like, Robert, when can you expect, construction in front of your
Yeah, because it's going to be sidewalk to sidewalk
It
and
is.
the whole dang
Yeah.
thing, and it's like.
And it's gonna be
I mean, we're honestly
Yeah, it's gonna
considering
be- yeah.
closing for a little while because no one's going to be able to get to us.
Well, but
Yeah.
he made simple points, and I think Tom and I kind of went, oh, duh, like, having, I can't remember what he called it, like mid-block, milling, so that people can still cross. when the
Cross,
road,
right.
oh,
Right.
yeah. Duh,
Yeah, sure.
Stuff like that, but I mean,
Sure,
it's just
but
simple stuff.
well, I'll say this, the timeline for when it's going to be done, I really hope they're able to stick to that
Yeah.
because it's absolutely the slowest time. So it is perfect for them to do it. I mean,
And I
they're,
think that's
they're,
very
they're,
important.
they're, for at least our section of Main Street, they're, I don't know if you've seen the calendar, but it's designated from winter to spring.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't know when winter starts and when spring ends, but I
We'll
mean,
miss
that
those
is,
4 customers.
that
but we'll
is
be
the
fine.
slowest time of year. So that is absolutely perfect.
They're
If
pretty
it's-
committed to keeping.
Yeah, if it's gonna
And
impact
downtown.
our business, I would rather have it be then.
So the bottom line of this conversation was that, it was kind of twofold. We were talking about their project, and then, Kelly was very interested in timing and managing the Main Street project. So
Yeah,
that was
just-
part of it. Anyway, good resource. I
Yeah,
think
'cause
someone that could be
it's
very,
almost like
very useful to
survivability.
us. Yeah,
For something that's huge.
that's right.
Oh.
So, very useful for us. Yes,
I just had a super quick comment. So, Buchanan's a great example. Tony and his team have done a great job down there. That preceded him. The project is several years
that's what he
old.
said. Yep.
I would also encourage looking at the city of Kalamazoo and their Streets for All. So they are doing starting the process of turning their one-way pairs back into two-way streets, which has been a decades-long process. It's going to be very disruptive this year and for the next probably 5 years. They've got a whole campaign and process set up. So it's much bigger than the 6 or 8 block project
Sure.
here, but there's some things to be taken
Sure.
from there. So I'll make sure that Kayla is connected with the comms people there too. So
Great. Thank you.
we've got it
All
dialed
right.
pretty well.
I don't think we can do too much to communicate to the businesses and just,
Absolutely.
I'm very passionate about that, so.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because I know it looked good in Buchanan for a while, and towards the end, things got a little hairy, and
Yeah, sure.
I would prefer if that didn't happen
Yeah.
here, so.
All
Your
right.
communication has always been excellent.
And
It really has. Your communication's
agree.
always been very,
But
very,
you are
yeah.
still gonna get, nobody told me this was happening.
Yeah.
Shocking
Yeah.
that would happen.
Maybe we can use the
No.
building for that, like skywriting on the United
Yeah.
Building.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
They won't look up that day, don't worry.
Ah, dang it.
All right. So I think what we want to do now is adjourn this meeting. our
Adjourn this
public
one and
meeting.
go
Yes. Oh,
into
did you have? I'm
discovery.
sorry.
I
Please.
just wanted to do a quick follow-up unless we
Yes.
forget. They reached out
Yes.
over spring break and were wondering update on.
Speaking of my great communication, I never followed up with you, did I?
That's okay. That's okay. I said I'd check in with you guys and see where we were at. As I said before, they were offering
Yeah.
to fund banners
Yeah,
on the
last
bluff
week.
for America 250. We would be helping with the design of it to make sure it was something that would be acceptable by, all of you and the community. So
that'd be great.
I will follow up with Emily again, but I'm pretty sure she was okay with it.
Okay.
They were funding it, you're designing it, is my
Yeah.
memory. Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna help design it to ensure that, again, it was something that would be
Can you
beautiful
shoot,
and acceptable by the community, so.
can you shoot me an email? Because of the
can.
banner policy, she has, she can approve those. It doesn't
Okay.
have to go to commission.
Okay,
Timeline, things like that, like how long they would be up, but I think she was okay with that, but I might just, yeah, shoot me
Okay.
an email. And
yeah.
we'll-
All right. Anything else? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn this
So moved.
public meeting? All right, so move, second? In
Second.
favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, now we have to shift over to the public meeting. What do you call this, actually? Information meeting.
Information meeting,
Right.
yep.
So we are required, we'll call the information meeting to order here at, what is it, 9:50. And I think you're familiar with this. We do this twice a year,
I mean, supposed
give or
to.
take.
Yeah,
Yes, we do it
Do it
Yes,
twice.
we
twice
do
a
it
year,
twice a
yes,
year.
yes, just say yes, right?
Yes.
That's right.
we will.
So go ahead, Kelly. I think
Yes, this
you'll
will be
want,
5 minutes, you
take
guys. So
us-
this
take
is
us
something
through
that's
this.
required by Public Act 57 of 2018. Mostly it's when there's a TIF involved, which, hey, now there's a TIF involved.
yeah,
So
we do have a tip, right.
you guys all know who your members are. It really is gonna just kind of go through the first 2 pages, or you know everything. The last page, sorry, page
Five.
five.
Five,
Yep,
six.
Yes.
There's a
Pages 5 and
six.
6, we just kind of go through what you did. You had a busy year. You
Yes.
guys really accomplished a lot, and I'm just, maybe I'm saying that because it was my first year with you.
Yep,
If nothing else, you got stuck with me full time.
Oh,
The
All for
phase
the
one
better.
of wayfinding got installed, which so many compliments on that. I had nothing to do with it other than getting it in the ground, but you guys were.
Oh, it looks great.
It does look
I mean,
great.
it's.
Does
it's-
look great.
To quote
Yes.
Emily, lovely.
Yep.
And
Nice improvement. Yep.
parking will, parking.
Right.
Do we need to talk about that again? No.
Is what it is,
It is
right?
what it is.
Right.
We'll see how it goes this year.
Right.
One of your tasks is obviously if and when there are revenues, what to do with those, that 80% revenue that will be reinvested. So if and when that
Starts to
comes
kick
to
in.
fruition,
Sure.
that will be your task, is to figure out what to do
Well,
with those funds.
We'll figure out how to spend money.
How
Right.
much do we still, and I hate to bring this up in a
Yeah.
public meeting, how much do we still owe on the initial purchase of the equipment and
It's
stuff?
it was 364. We brought in 70 something last year.
That's
so-
what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
So
of.
we're
Roughly
looking
3.
with projected revenues, a couple years. Yeah, so
Okay,
but 2028's the year where everything,
settles back
MDOT
down.
will be
Settle
done
down,
and everything
right,
settles
right.
down. So
That's right.
sidewalk amenities, you guys, you've got your family of products with the benches
Right.
and the trash cans and bike racks and lights and all that stuff. So that's a good start to get the family of products going throughout the downtown. Tom headed up the development subgroup, which hasn't met lately. He and I talk about that on and off. That's the group that got together to how you can fill the downtown spaces, whether it's vetting people that want to come in or how we recruit people. That's where we kind of talked about getting square footages and getting the owners. A lot of that has fallen on me, and I've kind of started to do that a little bit. Sorry. I'm working on that. But if anybody has information on vacancies you want to give me, shoot them over. So I think one of the biggest impactful things that came out of the DDA, other than the TIF, that's in the earlier write-up, that's huge. That was a huge thing that, as
Sure.
I spend time with the Michigan Downtown Association, we're one of the few DDAs that didn't have a TIF. And, you look at the money that a lot of them have. I'm like, how do you afford that? And they're like, well, we've had a TIF forever. And I'm like, oh, gotcha.
Right.
That will all come about with time, right? You're gonna start seeing that come in. But yay for you for getting that across the line. The DDA liquor license, that's, thank you for pushing that
Yeah.
with us, Andrew. 5 businesses have applied for those. One, the library.
Vibrant.
hotel.
Yeah.
They're the first one to get through the MLCC. So, and I think they're really close to opening from what I saw.
I was just about to ask, does anyone know? when
I
they're
saw on
looking to open?
Facebook, they're very close. That's, I don't know
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
have-
Because
I
on
know they're-
Instagram, it looks like they still got quite a bit to do inside.
Is
That's
it?
what
Okay.
I mean.
I don't-
I've seen, oh, we're close, but then I see some of the videos. It's like, you're
Yeah.
not back, you're
I
not
don't know
that
if the
close.
videos are old, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
Chris, do you have
oh,
any
I-
insight on
I've
the
done
hotel?
construction, that's not.
on when they're planning on opening?
April, John says April 15th.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really?
Wow.
They need to put some
So
new
is that-
videos up.
That's pretty.
Videos
Nine
are
days.
not reflecting that.
Okay, well,
He suggested to the contractor that they should open by April 15th. So while that's the date that he selected, it probably, my opinion is it probably won't happen on
Okay.
April 15th, but the answer is
They're
soon.
pushing it.
It is soon. Okay, so
Very
Very
close.
soon.
They're very
hopefully
close.
30 days.
that's, so
Well,
that,
And they've
that
got, and they've
project,
got the typical glitches in terms of permits and approvals and contractors.
Oh, yeah,
and-
that's-
and-
yeah.
And delays and all those things that we all. deal with
Chasing
on a daily basis.
Supplies
Sure,
have been.
sure.
lengthy.
Nothing better.
sure.
I'm
Um,
excited for it. I think that's going to be great. That's going to be a great addition.
15th is
That's,
a week
yeah, that's
away.
one that's
I know.
been,
Yeah, their speakeasy looks pretty cool.
yeah.
Have you seen
so-
some of the videos?
I haven't. Are they on Facebook?
They're on
Yeah,
Instagram.
Oh,
yeah.
Instagram? Okay, I'll have
Their
to look.
Instagram has a lot of videos of the interior and the work they're doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to look. But you know, that's just what a amenity to offer new
Yeah.
businesses.
It'll be
coming in.
cool. I want to see what the roof looks like too. That'll be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, the patio up there.
Yeah.
So, other than that, you know, the continuation of the hopeful improvement of Court Place Plaza. Did I miss
Parking,
anything? I feel
construction.
like, as I went through the minutes, I kind of skimmed through the minutes over the last year, but those were the real high points, but that's a lot. You know, for every, the
Lot
amount
of
of time
activity,
spent on
that's
things
right.
like parking and
That's
Yeah.
right. Stuff. Yeah,
a
that's right.
lot.
That's right.
So congratulations on that. I
Yep.
think moving
Appreciate
forward,
it.
there's a lot more to do and a lot of ups and downs, but you've handled it all with grace.
All right.
So
What
that's
else?
all I got.
Anything
That's a
else?
quick meeting.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment that in terms of the accomplishments that we have made this year, that we should recognize Paul in terms of the support that the DA's gotten from St. Joe today, and certainly Andrew in terms of the
Yeah,
things he
yeah, we appreciate it.
exposed to
Yep.
us this year that we followed up on at his direction and knowledge.
Yep. Here, here. I agree. Yep. I think we got to agree. Gentlemen.
Paul
Appreciate it.
is making sure that the pond is full of fish, right?
That's full of things, right. All right. What, anything else you need from us on this?
That's
Do we
all I
just,
needed.
a motion to adjourn this or no?
I
What
do
we
have
Oh,
one other just
Yep.
announcement I was supposed to say. There's a public, oh geez, hold on, let me get the, geez, beats. There's a public input meeting, April 23rd from 4 to 6 for the strawberry and peach lots.
April 23rd
Correct,
here.
I think.
Okay. All right.
That has nothing to do with that meeting. but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot to
right,
Say it in the
okay.
last one, so
All right.
that's it.
Okay, then, I guess, with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the information meeting.
So moved.
Second. Okay, Chris, or Robert? All
All
right, all in
Aye.
favor? Aye? Okay,
Aye.
we'll drop the gavel on that. Very good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Good discussion as always.
Nice job.
No, no,
You said April 23rd.
no visible scars. They're all